go. Awesome. We're getting all the bugs out of the system here. Welcome in everyone to the Women's Wellness Network. I've got my new laptop and I'm, having some morning issues here, so please bear with me. Today I have the lovely Alexandra Fernandes. Good morning, Alex. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm okay. I'm fine.
Awesome.
I'm very glad to be in this interview with you. Thank you,
I'm
Tammy.
very
You're
glad to
doing
have
an excellent work.
you. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Well, it's wonderful to have you. So let's get started. I know you have a very interesting story and you share wonderful things. So why don't you introduce yourself and let people know where you are in the world and maybe a little bit about what you do.
Okay. So you already said my name, Alexandra, but you can call me Alex. It's easier. Uh, I am from Portugal. I was born in Portugal, but I've been traveling all over the world after my 26 years old. I stayed a few years in Paris, and then I came back to Portugal, and then I went out again to Madeira Island, and then came back to the mainland, and then traveled to north of Portugal, okay, and then out of Portugal again. I've been in Malta, I've been in Switzerland, I've been in England and Scotland, Africa. So I consider myself as a citizen of the world. And at the moment, I'm living in a beautiful mountain in Portugal called Monchique, a beautiful place with fountains of water, with lots of nature and places to be in contact with nature, which is something that I'm always passionate about since I know myself. And
Beautiful.
what I do, I'm a therapist since more than 30 years. Well, I'm 56 years old. On the 13th of March, I will be 56.
Oh,
Uh, and on my journey through healing, I have been in many places, many courses, many different things, and it came to a point where healing is part of my daily life. It starts when I open my eyes, and it goes on all day. And I'm now specialized in holistic nutrition, and this is what I've been doing. I work with my husband. We met 22 years ago. He's a shiatsu master, and we've been trained by a Japanese on the shiatsu seitai, which is the clinical shiatsu from Japan. It's not the type of shiatsu you do in spas to relax, and it's really clinical. It's, I would say, it's like an acupuncture without needles.
oh, that sounds
Every,
interesting.
yes,
Very
we
interesting.
work
Well, I
with
love,
our hands.
what's that? Sorry.
We work with our hands, but we also work with quantum healing.
Well, okay, so we've got a whole bunch of things to unpack. Oh, it's so exciting. Okay, well, first of all, I apologize for interrupting because there's a little bit of a delay for me in our connection. So if I jump in too soon, I apologize. Excuse me. Where you live in the mountains. One moment. I got a frog. Hang on a second. I need to take a sip of water. Okay, look at that. All better. Okay, so you live in the mountains, you've traveled all over the place. So for myself, I know when I go to different areas, there's really that thing about the vibration of the land and the feeling that you get there when you go there. So there must be like a little feeling of home when you keep going back to Portugal. I know Portugal is beautiful, but yeah, I would love to. Could you please tell me the name of where you are again?
Monchique.
Monchique?
It, it's
Monchica.
Monchique.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you. I'm going to look that up after we finish because I want to know more about it. So shiatsu, but in a different way. That's super interesting because I think a lot of people only know it in the spa way, at least here in our, you know, in the first world where we have that's kind of a thing, right? Um, but the more clinical, the more actual healing modality is sounds very interesting. Can you explain it just a little bit more for me?
Well, the founder of this type of shiatsu was Namikoshi. Master Namikoshi managed to get this type of shiatsu recognized by the uh, Organization of Health. Sorry, for World Health Organization.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah.
because I was thinking about in Portuguese. Well, so after that, there was a student who developed another type of shiatsu, which is the most known in Europe and in the United States, which is the shiatsu zen. So that shiatsu zen, the most known kind of shiatsu, uh, was the master Mazunaga. He was a student of Namikoshi, and he then developed this type of shiatsu. But Namikoshi is the most known in Japan, is the one they practice in clinics and hospitals. People get to choose if they want acupuncture, if they want shiatsu, if they want traditional medicine, which is really nice. And well,
Well, it's nice to
this
have an option
is
for sure. So the other thing you mentioned was quantum healing. Now, I don't think a lot of people probably know even what quantum healing is because it seems in our first world, like in our, here in North America, these kinds of things are just kind of, people are getting interested and excited about these kinds of things. So could you tell us a little bit more about that?
yes. In Portugal, people are not so open-minded yet to this kind of healing. Um, but it's known in other countries in Europe. I know, for instance, that English people are very open to it, and there are. When we talk about quantum healing, we need to figure out which is we can work with a device. It's now very known. There is a device for quantum healing where they do the tests as well. But what we do has nothing to do with that. We don't need any devices. This is the real deal. I can normally say is by meditation and concentrating on the person, and we can create in the field like an hologram, and we can perfectly see the person without being near the person. We can work straight when we are working with our hands on people, but we can also work from a distance. We have been working with people from France, from England, from Switzerland, people who got to know us when we were there, and we keep in touch. We keep the contact, and when they know someone, they normally send them to us. They will give us a phone call. We will have a conversation, and from then on, we establish a time. For instance, let's say 8 p.m. And the person must be like or laying down or sitting down comfortably and relaxing. to be more receptive. Okay, always we do this kind of thing with the agreement of the person. We never do it without telling the person that we are going to do it. And we normally say at what time, so the person can be more receptive.
Ah,
Because in the universe, there are multiverse. There
mhm.
is a multiverse as well. So in one universe, the person has a problem, a health problem, and what we do is to see the person perfectly well. This is different. To explain is not so easy.
That's okay. That's okay. It kind of, there's other modalities that are similar to it, I think. So yeah, thank you for your explanation, because I think we can connect it to, a little bit like um, say Reiki, because I know Reiki can be done at a distance, and
Yes.
um, emotion code that can be done at a distance. So yeah, lots of things nowadays are definitely being recognized that it's possible and it's effective. I've experienced it myself, so not quantum healing myself, but some other modalities, and yeah, absolutely, I think it's fantastic. So how did
But
you? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
precisely because there are different modalities to work in the quantum field. We can do it for ourselves and we can do it for other people. It is huge. There are many modalities in the quantum field. Yes,
Yes,
we
this
chose
is exciting.
one that resonates more with who we are, of course.
Exactly. And I think that's a good point of why we do this here on the Women's Wellness Network, is that people can see, learn, maybe make those connections for themselves, right? They think, oh, that sounds like this thing, and I've tried that thing, or somebody told me about this thing. So yeah, just any more information that we can have, I believe it's for the better. So how did you end up getting into that? Was there a specific incident that made you decide, oh, I need to work on this stuff, or how did you end up doing that quantum healing?
That's a good question. It's practicing. Like my husband and I, we have uh, a natural healing um, thing, you know.
Mhm.
It's something that is in us, and that's why we chose to be therapists. That's why we chose to help people. And years passing, and we were finding uh, that the results were not only by the technique we used with our hands. We could really feel the energy around us, all around us. And we could, it was something that came naturally. It, it is not something that we went to a school to learn. It's something that comes from our heart. It's when heart-brain coherence
Mm, yes,
is is really working well, when it's the power of intention is really strong. The intention you put in what you do, the heart, it is, it does magic.
it's true. It is true. And yeah, I love the fact that it's us, and when we decide, when we make that the choice, because it's a choice to heal, right? So yeah, you have to make that choice for yourself, and as soon as you do, a whole bunch of things open up. And I believe most of us, like you say, you're natural to it. I think most of us are. I think we all
Yes,
are, right? And it's just a matter of uncovering it and discovering what works for us, what clicks with us, what resonates with us. And yeah, like searching it
absolutely.
out and figuring it out is half the fun, I think.
It is.
It totally is. So you had a little story. Now I don't know how much of it you would like to share, or if you even wanted to share it today. about um, your frightening experience, because the the way in which you were able to, I'm going to even say like timeline shift, jump to a different reality even to get yourself out of that situation. And it's miraculous and it's possible and it's beautiful. And I think people, the more they understand that they have the power, the better, the easier it is for people to accept things because the power is within us. So were
Yeah,
you interested in sharing that story today? Even just a little bit?
I can. Yeah, I can because, um, and then I have to mention the SGLA course I took
Absolutely.
because it like, okay, I start from the beginning. We went to a journey in Africa in a country called Angola, and we stayed there for almost 3 years. When we arrived there, we were very successful. We just uh, worked in our own clinic, and we started helping Portuguese people living there, African people. We helped many people because there, um, the hospitals and clinics, they are still from a third world. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So um, people have to rely on natural resources for their health. And also, we went to the tribes uh, to learn about plants, about um, the medical uh, plants that we could use. Um, we're doing research about this kind of phytotherapy, I can say. And we were dealing with, we were afraid of getting malaria because we knew there was malaria all over and a mosquito bite would be like a nightmare. So we start producing our own repellent with natural products that we would use for ourselves, and we would give the recipe to some people so they can apply on their bodies and on their kids, on the family. So the mosquito, if the mosquito is not biting, that is already prevention. Then with our employees, we once she came with malaria work, and
Oh,
then I said, okay, let's do it. We did some juice and the tea, and we gave her, and we said, you go to rest now. And like after a few hours, she woke up completely changed. And we said next day for her to go and do the test to see if the plasmodium was still there. No plasmodium. So next time it was a friend. A friend was really bad in bed. Uh, he couldn't go to work. So we asked him, please um, send someone from your family and we will get things prepared for you. Right. So that happened. Uh, and next day he was back to work, and all the colleagues were like, what happened to you? You were so ill and now you're here working like nothing happened. And he said, these Portuguese doctors did this and that, and I'm here. So after that, it was people coming to our house all the time to ask for the recipe. We start going to the poor places where people do not have money to buy the medication. So, but they could go on nature and get the plants and do the recipe. We started going with the priests and nuns from the Catholic Church to these places and teach the African mamas to do the recipes so they could help family. So all this was giving, just giving information, trying to save lives. But after like 1 year or so, 1.5 years or so, someone invited us to do that for another type of people in a 5-star hotel. So we went, and in the middle of it, the TV shows up and starts filming us, you know? And I was not so okay with that, but nobody asked me if I wanted to be filmed by the TV,
Right.
not me, not my husband. So we were a bit not so comfortable. But the fact is that I don't know if, till today, I don't know if has something to do with that or not. The only thing I know is that after a week, three big guys with uncovered faces broke into our house, pointing guns and saying, "Tonight you're gonna die." Yeah,
Yeah.
they were three. They had guns. My husband couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything, but um, I just didn't shut my mouth. I just said, because we were living in a house that belonged to the priests, and it was from Our Lady of La Salette in France. I immediately thought, well, I'm in the house of Our Lady, and I told them, I'm going to die if Our Lady wants me to die. She is the one in command. So, and it was really violent. I'm not going into details.
No,
The
of
only thing
course.
I know is that after a period of bad bad I cannot share.
It's
it
okay.
was it was like uh, some words came out of my mouth, and I knew those words were coming from somewhere, but it was like I was half detached. I had my feet on the ground. I was present, but at the same time, myself and my husband, we were somewhere in a place of peace, and we were together, and we were in peace. Um, and words kept coming out of my mouth. I remember the word "mother" was the strongest one, and at a certain point they got mixed up, and they said, you both stay here. We going outside, and we will be back. We will be meeting outside, but we will be back. Don't move." So we prayed a bit, and like after not even 5 minutes, uh, we went outside uh, through another door, and we knocked at the neighbor's house, and in like a few seconds, the street was full of neighbors. So when they came back in the car, they couldn't do anything. It was like we had a gap where we managed to escape.
And
And but
have the guidance from elsewhere.
from elsewhere, yeah. And I was like, they were like turning, they were kept coming back, and and suddenly the police arrived, and we said, that's the car, and the police went, and they went, and that night we went to a hotel where we had a Portuguese friend. He was the manager of that hotel, and we stayed in that hotel till everything was sorted out, and we came back to Portugal. And since we came back to Portugal, it was really hard, because we arrived. They stole everything they could. They started by laptops, phones, and cameras, and then we had to sell everything in order to come back to Portugal and start our life. So, but we start our life from zero, and it was difficult. It was not easy because we had to heal the wounds.
Yes.
We had to heal the wounds, and that took time. That took time. And what really helped was my knowledge about nutrition, because it's really important uh, to have the gut and brain and heart in harmony, because these are our three brains, and we had to do a job on that. But after after healing physically, I needed to heal emotionally, and that's where SGLA and Shlomo helped a lot. The basic course was transformation. I did it. My husband didn't do it, but through me, I we managed to find a balance where, when I say it's the cherry on top of the cake, the work we did ourselves to heal, plus this work with SGLA, was really, I'm in a good place now. I can say I'm healed from the problem. Still, when I speak about it, it's still not so nice in a way to remember how things went. But in the other hand, it is amazing how I transformed all that, you know.
Absolutely. My goodness. Yes, that is a journey and a half. Like that's a lot of things. Like Alexandra, that's a lot of things. Um, but to put the whole puzzle together and see what it looks like now when you're out of it, and like you said, you had um, words coming from you that you didn't feel that were yours, and this, to me, this is the quantum field. This is where the quantum healing comes from. um, we're all connected, we're all one, and we're really starting to understand that. And um, just even when you went to the neighbors, and then suddenly everybody was there and everybody's supporting you and around you, even though they probably didn't you know understand that's exactly what they were doing. They were just showing up because something says you need to go there, you need to go outside, you need to do whatever. And that's our intuition, right? Those are the things we need to listen to. And like you said, the coherence between the brain, heart, and gut. And when something stressful like that happens, it really takes all that out of alignment, and it makes it all um, it puts the blocks back over top, and it's hard for us to be clear and be connected after that. So yeah, the healing journey that follows is it's a reopening of ourselves, and being okay to be open and allowing things, because yeah, trauma's not fun, but absolutely we can heal from it and grow from it. And having your story and being able to share those kinds of things with other people that's the gold. For me, that's the gold. The world is full of people that need some healing, people that are already on the healing journey, and those who are even feel like they're complete. There's always something else. There's always something more that we can bring into ourselves. And I also love that you were in SGLA with me. SGLA is amazing. As we've mentioned, we've had many of our um, do I call them classmates? I'm not sure what I call them, because it's an academy, so it's kind of like classmates. But more than that, it's a family, and I feel
Yeah.
we're family. And yeah, I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm so grateful that you made it through your challenges, and now you're here to help heal others, which is spectacular. So if anybody would like to connect with you on a one-to-one basis, and you said that you do it online, you don't have to just do it in person with your hands, where can they find you?
Well, I have a Facebook, which is Alexandra Antonio, because Antonio is the name of my husband. We managed to make a Facebook, Alexandra Antonio, and we didn't put a picture. We just put. I can put the link later on your Facebook,
Absolutely, we will be putting it there.
because it has our logo, which is CHA, which stands for Complementary Healing Arts.
Beautiful. That's a great
Because
one.
I think healing is an art.
It really is. It really is. Oh, and speaking of art, I know you are an artist and you make a beautiful paintings and you do the rocks. I love them. I love them. And it must be so healing, like a healing. We know art as a therapy is extraordinarily healing in itself. So did is that was that part of your healing also, the art?
Yes, yes, I have to say, when I came back to Portugal from that trauma, I said to my husband, listen, I always dreamed about painting and I never took the time to do it. Imagine that I would have died that day. I would never have done what my dream was. So I need to start doing it. And I, for the first time in my life, without any classes. I don't have any classes. This is just something that was born with me as well.
Oh,
So
so
I started doing it on Canvas and give as gifts to my friends or sell somewhere. But then when COVID arrived, I said, where am I going to do an exhibition? Everybody is locked down. And then I started with the Stones, and now it's my favorite thing. I know it's childish, but I think I'm nurturing the inner child,
yes.
and it helps because it's like I do kind of work that is not just taking a stone and do something. I just create a whole little world that you can put in your hands and play with it, or you can place it somewhere in a garden or wherever. So I like it.
Well, I like it too. I don't have any of your pieces, but I've seen them and I love them and I adore them. And I don't think it's childish. I think it's whimsical and it brings out that child spirit, which we need to nurture still. We still need to play and have fun. We're just because we're, have a few extra years and a few little bit more wisdom doesn't mean that we can't be fun and have, something interesting that keeps us occupied. And like you said, you use them as um, to me, they're like little healing stones. And I work a lot with animals and like animal spirits and nature spirits and things like that. And it's almost like having a little totem. So it's, I saw a turtle the other day, let's say. So the turtle, maybe that's somebody's totem. And what a beautiful thing for somebody to have in their own possession, keep it on your desk or something. Yeah, it's amazing. I love it. It's beautiful. So yeah, keep doing it.
Thank you. I will.
Good, good. Well, I would like to say thank you very much for coming, Alex. It was wonderful to speak with you. This is the first time we've actually been able to, speak on a FaceTime or a Zoom just with you and I. So that's very nice to have you to myself. Yeah, any last words?
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me. I know that story from Africa was probably not so fun, but it's something that I would like to write a book about it, and of course not in Portuguese language. So if any ghostwriter
Oh,
is interested in this story, I and my husband will be willing to do that work and put this in the world with more details, because there's a lot in our journey through Africa, not only this trauma, but there are many interesting stories to put in a book and maybe in a movie.
Right, even that. Well, ladies, anybody listening on the Women's Wellness Network, if you know any ghostwriters or somebody who might be a screenwriter, get in touch with Alex because she has a lot to share. And you know, the stories of healing and the traumatic things that we go through, um, they come full circle when we allow them to. And I think that's where Alex is now. So thank you very much, Alex, for coming today. Thank you all for watching. And until next time, be well.
Bye.